Hello and welcome to the channel. Going to do something a little bit different this week, and we're just going to do we're actually going to have a really good talk, let you know what our plans are and what we've been up to.
So for anybody who it might be the first time, hopefully we might be able to give you a bit of information about if going over to Europe or not. And yep.
So for the last nearly 2 years, we've been living in our van, Frankie. It's a 27-foot motorhome and it's 4.5 tons and it's really lovely. And we now class this as our home for definite.
Indeed, and it really feels like home as well. But if you are looking for a van, one of the things that we noticed about this van that we didn't notice until actually we started living in it is just how well built this one is for living in. So whether you're in the cold or the hot, we found out silly things like the fact that this is double skinned, so it stays warm during the cold weather, and it's just fully equipped. So there might be things that if you're thinking of motorhoming, might be a good idea for things to look for in a van. And maybe we could do that as a vlog at some point.
I think so, yeah, the goods. So our journey started almost 2 years ago, and we spent the first 4 or 5 months of our journey in England just checking we could do it and how the bus worked and everything. Then following on from that, we've spent the last 12 months in Europe.
Indeed we have. And since coming back to England, we're going to, in this vlog, say some of the good things and the bad things about being back here.
So we travelled 18 countries in Europe over the 12 months we were out there and had a fantastic time. If you want to watch the other vlogs, that will give you a real taste of the adventure and the privilege that we were on over the last year. But for the last 4 months, we've been back in the UK, mainly because we came back for our son's wedding. Other reasons, the MOT for the van has to be done in the country it is registered in, so we've also had to come back to the UK for that.
Yeah, it's all very strange. I mean, there were other things that we found that we didn't realise while we were out there, and one of them was the fact that you still have to pay road tax in Britain. Anyway, that's probably one of the bad things that we'll probably talk about later on. But yeah, just coming back for a few months has certainly opened our eyes up, because when we first went over to Europe, we weren't sure what it was going to be like. And now we're feeling a bit homesick for Europe, aren't we, my love?
Definitely. Ian was quite sure that when I got back home and saw all the family that I would say, oh, that's it, I want to come back to the UK. But actually quite the opposite happened, and I realised that the UK is not really for us full time. So in 10 days we'll be leaving to go back to Europe for another year, but we'd like to go through how we're feeling, what we're going to do, and the goods and the bads of the UK.
I can just say there that actually it's not that the family were any problem, because we absolutely love seeing them. I'm not saying that we've got a bad family. They're absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Really fantastic.
So let's make a start then. So Ian, should we do one each?
If you want to.
Okay.
I can't really see it though very well.
So let's go through the goods first. So the good things in the UK. Well, first of all, for me, it had to be, as Ian's just said, seeing the family. There's nobody like your own, is there? Although Dillilah's out with us, she's the only family that we've took with us. Other family have come and visit us. But being here and being with family is #1 priority of wonderfulness.
But must admit though, while we was out and having the family coming out to see us, that really did break up our time in Europe, and that was very, very special. So thank you to every one of you that were able to come out and spend that time with us.
For those that didn't, make sure you do it on this leg of the journey, please.
Yes, please. Yeah, one of the other things is friends. you know, you don't realise how, until you're away from them, how much that you kind of miss your friends and what have you. So over these last 4 months, we've really tried to catch up with lots and lots of people who we've met over the last four months. But for those that we haven't been able to get round to, we do apologise.
We'll see you next time.
Oh, yeah. So, one of the things that we really enjoyed since we've come back is takeaways. Having the opportunity of actually being able to eat something that you know what it's going to taste like. So, yeah, being able to pick, and the variety of food that they actually have in England is really amazing, actually.
Yeah, you don't know how good it is till you've gone. The fact that you can walk into pubs and get drinks and food. So abroad, although there's lots and lots of restaurants, there isn't the same variety of foods that you can get even on one main street. You can almost do a tour of the world in foods just on one street in England.
Yeah, so that's really good.
The other thing that is another biggie is fellowship here. It can be really difficult to not keep going with your Christian faith, but be stretched with your Christian faith when you're abroad, because you can't go to the churches and unless they're English speaking, which seem to be few and far between. So being back here, being able to go to the churches, there is nothing like singing worship together when your heart rises and you can feel the voices together has been, you know, really tremendous. And the other has been the great opportunity of sharing our journey with other churches. So we've managed to go around and chat to different people about what we've been up to. They've been very special moments. Indeed they have, and that's been well missed. But on saying that, we did get our fellowship while we were out on various different vlogs and things. Yeah. It's not the same, but at least those things were available. Yeah. So thank you to everybody who puts those up. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you to the churches that really put your vlogs up on live time so that we can join with you. I'm just having a snigger at that because there was one big failure, and if you've not watched that vlog, look back at it. I think it was 3 or 4 weeks ago. We went out with the family to the reservoir. We had a day's doing water sports on the reservoir, and we took the wrong turning coming back. Yes, thank you, Paul. And we ended up going up a windy road with a very steep hill that the van could not go up. So that has been probably the only problem in England, hasn't it? We've had many in Europe, so... Yeah, I mean, we have noticed that actually Britain is quite hilly, to be honest. When we went down to Devon, yeah, there was quite a few hills and things, and in the last couple of vlogs we've been able to share with you the fact that there was places that we wouldn't have been able to get to in the van. So there are those things. But on the whole, yeah, just actually knowing which way you're going, which direction you're going, north, south, east or west, does help. Especially when you've got a van our size. The other biggie for us is the NHS. Obviously, I worked in the NHS for 38 years and it's always been an amazing industry. And actually being back, again, we just big it up so much. So since we've been back, we've had health checks, blood tests, eyes checked, teeth checked. I had the problem with my hip and I managed to get an x-ray and a scan on my hip. I've accessed physiotherapy. and then paid privately for an osteopath. So just NHSU will remain forever the most wonderful thing of England. I know people get very, very annoyed with it, with the waiting lists and things like that, but there is nothing like it. For free care that we're getting, it is amazing.
Yeah, but one of the strange things, my love, was that while we were out, we got taken off the books from our doctors that we've been at for nearly 30 odd years, and we had to fill in the 19-page dossier. And when we went to the receptionist and we went to give it in, she said to us, "And who was your previous doctors?" And we said, "You were." And so we had to do another new patient check, which was good. Yeah, it was good.
It was.
It was strange.
We got kicked off the books.
So is this where we give our bad face?
We do our bad face because we've bigged up England, but you know, you're not everything. We're going to have a look at the comparison with Europe now. When we say Europe, it's no country in particular. It's the whole of Europe that we've travelled. And compared to Europe, these are your bad points.
Yes. Number one, I must admit, we noticed it very early as we entered into England, is we came off the Eurostar, and within the space of about 20 minutes there was that awful smell of weed.
Okay. That wasn't on the list.
Well, there was, honestly. Yeah. So that wasn't very good.
Right. What was on the list was you are very, very expensive. Oh. So since we've come back, petrol has risen 21 pence a litre, and that's only in a few months that we've been back. Abroad they wouldn't have that, you know. France would be picketing and everything, and we just feel that prices just rise and rise and rise, and people just get on with it. I mean, many people that I said to about the price of petrol didn't even notice, because you have to buy it. They just crack on and buy it. And I'm sorry, but the expense of food, petrol, and just entertainment out here is probably not double, but very, very much more expensive than in Europe.
Well, everything just seems to be going up and up, and it's no wonder that the time making this vlog, we've actually got the bin men on strike, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah.
And one thing and another.
Yeah. There's no way that wages can cover, you know, and our hearts definitely go out to family and friends when we know that, you know, there's two in the family working full time, and life is very difficult because it shouldn't be this way. I'm not very political and I don't understand everything, but certainly in Europe we do find it so much cheaper.
Yeah, one of the other things is parking. Anyone who owns a motorhome in England will realise that less and less places are allowing motorhomes to go in. In fact, we went to a local town the other day, Northwich, and unfortunately we were told, I went to seek the council advice, and they said, well, if you stay in that car park, unfortunately you will get a ticket. And yet it was just you know, a plain car park. We managed to get in. So whenever you're going anywhere, it doesn't matter. We're going to go up to Manchester tomorrow, and the chance of us finding somewhere to park or to move it's ridiculous. It's just unless you've got a little Mini, seems as though there's not many places you can go. So yeah, parking, anywhere parking has been really, really quite difficult.
I think this could have been top of the list because you would all understand it very easily, and it's the weather. Yes, Dillilah, even Dillilah gets fed up of the grey skies and a wet woolly coat. Without a shadow of a doubt, the weather is awful. We came back in June to the last 4 days of your little heat wave, and then it seemed to rain the whole of August and September. We're into October now, and I've been looking at the Google News, and apparently you're going to have snow in a couple of weeks.
Well, I found it really funny when asking a Turkish person who said that they'd been to England. We said, well, what did you think of England? And he summed England up with one word, and that word was moist.
So we are really, really looking forward to get abroad, and not even just, we won't get the sunshine where we're going.
Yeah, I mean, it's not much different from here. I mean, last year when we was in Bulgaria, it was cold and what have you, so I don't think there's going to be a massive, great big difference in weather unless you go further and further down. But
I think for me, it's the greyness. I cannot be doing with days and days and days where I call it non-weather, where you've got no blue sky and it is just grey all day long. That gets me down.
Depressing weather, that is, isn't it, really?
It is. So, sorry, England, your weather is rubbish. So in 10 days, we are off on another year's adventure.
Looking forward to it, I think. Yep.
So the plan is Mum's coming out with us this time, and we're going to go on the tunnel again. We just find that so much easier than the ferry. We're going to travel through France to Belgium. We're having one night in Belgium and then crossing the border in Germany to stay at a friend's house for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I like Germany. It's a nice place. Really quite simple.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense. Is Germany.
So we're really looking forward to you joining us in Germany, because obviously the Black Forest is full of beautiful colours at this time of year, and hopefully we'll get to some Christmas markets as well. While we've had the time to be still and quiet, we have been pondering. We've been pondering about the channel and kind of what lies ahead for it, what we're going to do. But first of all, I would have really liked to say thank you for all those that watch. You know, it's been great coming back, and people have said to me, "Oh, I've seen you on the telly," because we don't really but we don't really feel like that. We're just normal people. But it's been really, really lovely to catch up with people who we didn't even know had been watching us, and they took the time and the effort to watch our adventures. So first of all, thank you so very, very, very much for joining us on this adventure.
I'd definitely like to apologise to those that say that they don't get out of bed before they've actually watched it on a Sunday, when we've absolutely ended up not putting it on till late because of internet or something like that. I hope that you've enjoyed your lie-in.
Which brings us to one of the things. So we started off, obviously, our journeys with no followers at all. And by the first year, we had 200 people subscribing, which to us was just mind-blowing. I've got a bit of a desire, please. By the time June comes, 2024, which will be our second year, I would love it to be 400. So if you haven't subscribed, then please subscribe. Also, if you press the little bell at the side, your notification will ping, and you don't have to stay in bed waiting for it. You'll know when it's come out. So if you could do that and try and get our subscribers up, that would just be so lovely, because I know how much work Ian puts into the production of this.
Well, it'll be interesting to know what you'd like to see on this vlog. You know, I mean, if there's anything, if you're interested about countries, or you're interested about towns that we go to, or what we actually eat while we're away, or what differences that there are in these various different countries. Is it easy to travel around? I mean, one of the things that we've got as a bad thing for England is that they don't have the services that they have abroad. So unlike when you're here, it's very, very difficult if you've got a motorhome to actually live in it full time and being able to get rid of all the stuff that you need to get rid of. But abroad, it's very easy. So I don't know. I mean, there might be things that you're really interested in. How does that work while you're over there? How does this work? You know.
Yeah,
so.
always put something in the comments, because we always reply to every comment. And yeah, join us for this next year ahead. We don't know what it's going to be about. Last year, we really felt it was a year of restoration and building up of us, because we'd come from quite a difficult place, really. And we've done that. We're feeling good.
We've got smiles now.
People have been saying how good we look, and I think it is. We just feel very, very well, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, really, really well. And we kind of think that this year is going to be a little bit different. And I'll let you tell people that.
Is it going to be?
Yeah, I think so. I think this year we are really seeking God's plan for our lives. Why are we going back out? What's it all about? What are we meant to be doing out there? Where will we go? So, yeah, just...
Well, don't count me as the oracle of all things. I don't know. I'm just quite excited that everything seems to be pointing to going back out. Yeah. So when we go out there, it will be a journey, but it won't just be a journey in the van. It'll be a journey with us. Yeah. To see what God has got planned
in store for us. So yeah. So come and join us.
Pray for us too, please. If you don't mind. That would be amazing.
And we start our next adventure in 10 days' time.
So we're Caroline and Ian. So come and join us on A Wing and a Prayer.